Hello everyone and welcome back to Humble Acres. So today we are going to try to replace the panels on the front of this that I don't want. This bib we gotta replace. That fender I don't have a replacement for yet, but it's the worst one of all. This fender we need to replace because it has a big rust hole and we have a replacement for that. The hood we're gonna take off and put the other one on. So that's kind of what we're going to be working on. We're also going to do I'm going to try to figure out the whole fuel system. I bought some stuff for that, so we're going to get the whole fuel system working, hopefully. And that's about it. I also want to mention that I got a P.O. box set up, so there were some people wanting to send me some stuff, so I set up a P.O. box. That will be down in the description, the address to send stuff. If you want to, that's fine. If you don't, obviously don't. Anyway, let's get to this. Alright, as you can see, I got the hood changed over. I've really just been enjoying my day working on this. It's been really relaxing, just tinkering on stuff out in the garage all day. Been out here like 6 hours now, so. I was messing with all this stuff over here. This fender is just so horrible. I really think I might just go buy a fender, because it's just, this whole side, you can see it's not lined up at all right here. Like, this panel's supposed to be over here, and it's just so mangled and very difficult to line anything up, and it just really bugs me. This one's not as bad, but it's still dented in decent, but I have a replacement for this side, so yeah, I can use that, but that side is just a huge pain in the butt. So I don't know, I might go buy another one, but anyway, I was over here, the battery tray was completely rusted out, and then these bolts are seized in there. So I was going to come over here, and this battery tray is actually, this is the battery tray. It's still in decent shape. And then I was gonna get the bracket out of here because I got all the bolts out of it perfectly fine. So I was just gonna swap the brackets over, hoping they are the same. I assume they are. So I got all the bolts out of the front here, so we just have, I think there's 2 or 3 in the back. I think there's 3 back here, and then I took the filter off, or loose, which this is a different filter bracket, so I might change that. I don't know. I kind of like this bracket better. It's a little easier to get to, but anyway, so that's what I'm working on. So I'm gonna get that swapped over, and then yeah, the front bib here, I had to do a lot to this. I was able to get the bezel off without snapping any bolts in there, so that was amazing. I chased the threads in all of them. I cleaned up these headlight buckets a little bit, and we should be good to go to put it back on. I was really tempted just to paint that bezel real quick because it looks so terrible. And I know I'm not painting anything else, but I might just rattle can it real quick. Just put some paint on it so it looks a little better. Nothing fancy, but yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. So this is ready to go back on. I just kind of got distracted with the battery tray, so I'm kind of doing that. I'm just kind of going to whatever I see. So anyway, let's get to it. All right, I'm working on these battery tray things or brackets or whatever you want to call them. I did learn that they are different, of course. The newer model, the 73, is a little taller, and the platform where the battery sits is narrower. So it probably would fit. It looks like the mounting places are the same, but the other thing is too, there's a brace for the radiator on the 73 on this bracket, and the older 71 doesn't have that brace on it. So I was going to try to reuse this, and I figured out a way to get all of the stuck bolts out that didn't have heads on them. So what I did was I just cut the head off. You can see the bolt sitting there. It's just flush on there, but there's a lot on the back still. So I'm heating up the nut on here. It's a welded nut on here. So I'm heating that up, and then I get pliers on here and thread it back this way. So I'm pulling where the head of the nut or where the head of the bolt used to be. I'm pulling that through because the threads on this are way worse, but the threads inside are actually not that bad. You can see right here, this one I just got done with, and the threads that are inside there aren't bad. It's just the threads afterwards, and the heads were not usable, so it's a little warm. So I'm going to show you what I did to get this one out, and we'll see. I did actually break one off. It started spinning, but then it broke off, so I had to drill that one out, but it's fine and fixed now. So I'm going to try to show you what I do on this one. Alright, so we got our torch. We're just going to sit here, heat this up. Could take a sec, so I'm going to skip when I get done with this. Alright, so that was about a minute of having the torch on there. So now I get to use these awesome pliers that I found. They're Power Craft. And if you see the teeth on there, they go in opposite directions, and as you tighten them, the handles actually pull together by themselves and grip the bolt or whatever you're grabbing onto. And these are the best pliers I've ever found to do this. All of my other ones, like even these big ones with the huge handle, Main USA, they're junk. These ones are by far the best, and I don't know where these came from. So get this on here like this, and then squeeze and turn, and it's turning. But what I want to do is try to rock it back and forth so it doesn't break off like that, and then get a little more and then do the same thing all the way out. It's actually kind of hard here because this bracket's really close here, so. But it's definitely coming. And then on this side, I spray some anti-seize in here. And then rock it. Try to get that in the threads. And we're to the point here where we can probably just thread it out. But we're just going to keep going back and forth like this until it's out. Alright, I rotated the bracket around so I'd have a better grip on here, but it's coming out. This honestly probably took like 2 minutes. Just got to work it back and forth, and there it is, it's out. That was the last one. So now I'm going to chase the threads with my tap here, and we'll be good to go. Alright, check that out. New battery bracket and tray are in there. This one has a tiny little rust hole here, but it's way better than the other one. The other one was non-existent, so yeah, now we can tie the battery down, which is good. I did use the original bracket that was on here because of this. I wanted to be able to have that brace on there still, and I didn't want to have to drill and tap a hole. So there, that only took 2 hours, so that was fun. And I also have the other bracket that if anybody's interested in, let me know. It's a good bracket, and I'm not going to need it. So if anyone needs it, let me know. It'll be right here. Right there. All right. So let's see. all of these vacuum components for the transfer case are sold. Somebody messaged me on YouTube and wanted them, and so I will be shipping those off soon, hopefully. I still have to talk with him and make sure I got all the stuff that he wanted, but those will be gone. So thank you for that. And now I think the next step is to get the bezel back on, or the bib, sorry, whatever you want to call it. They're all similar names. I think what was kind of holding me up is I hate that fender so much, both of them. They drive me insane. This one's just so terrible, but I don't know. I'm gonna call it right here for tonight. It's almost 8 o'clock now. I've been out here for 8 hours now. All right, well, last night I bought 2 new fenders, so we can take these off. We will not be reusing them. And yeah, I have 2 brand new fenders coming. So the aprons here will still need to use, so we're gonna save those, which those are in perfect condition, so no problem there. But we gotta get the fenders off. I took pictures of how all the inside was on each one, so I can make sure it goes back to how it was. But yeah, we gotta get these off here. And the new fenders also come with a stainless steel bolt kit too, so I shouldn't need any of the hardware either, thankfully. So let's get these off of here. All right, get this thing off of here. That was easy. Perfect. All right, this is well tore apart. I'm pretty sure the VIN number is supposed to be on the frame right here, unless it's on this side. Well, maybe it's under this rust or something, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like right here, but who cares? It doesn't really matter. But yeah, this side looks good. Everything's looking good, actually. It would have been a lot easier to take this off to do this battery tray now that I think about it, but whatever. We are going to need to straighten the cowl right here. It got a little jammed when the fender got bent, but it's not bent very bad. This can come out, that's pretty easy. And then I think the whole thing needs to bend a little out on the bottom here. Top looks good, but yeah, just a little bit there, but easy enough. So yeah, this will also make doing the brakes and stuff a lot easier. Looks like these lines are actually in really good shape. Lots of debris and stuff, but yeah, these brake lines look like brand new. They still have the coating and everything on them, which is kind of amazing. We have new rubber lines coming. You can see these are definitely not good, but I figured that much. But all these brake lines, there's a little rust on them right there. We'll have to see once we get them working and stuff. But yeah, this is all looking really good. Very, very happy with all this. This side's the same. It's all looking really nice. I scraped a lot of the grease and mud or whatever is on there off. But yeah, it's all looking great. Now we need to get the aprons off of this. I need to get my VIN plate off of this fender here, which it's extremely hard to read, this VIN plate. This is actually the worst one I've ever seen. But hopefully I can get that cleaned up. It's just screwed on there. It's not riveted, so no big deal there. That's not the only VIN plate on here. There's another one right inside the door here. Right there. So, and all of them match, which is good, or both of those match. There should be one on the frame too. Not sure what's going on there, but it's probably just under all the rust over here, would be my guess. It's supposed to be like right down there somewhere, but anyway, my goal for this video is to try to sort out the fuel system, and I haven't worked on it at all. I spent 8 hours out here yesterday, and then yeah, I've been out here today for maybe a couple hours so far, but I haven't touched the fuel system at all. So I think that's what we're going to work on next. It's going to make it a lot easier without these fenders on here to work on stuff. So yeah, let's get to it. All I've got to say about Toyota is they use amazing bolts. These bolts, they're just amazing. Especially the ones that went through the floor and they're just open to the elements on the bottom. I didn't break a single one off. And they're still shiny. It's just incredible. Makes such a huge difference using quality hardware. It just lasts so long. But my goal is to get this gas tank out because I want to clean it out if it's still salvageable. And if not, we need to rip the other one out of the other FJ and use it. Hopefully it's good, but one of these two I'm going to use, hopefully, because these things are really expensive. I realize I'm doing a lot of time lapses in this one, but honestly I just feel like I'm not doing a whole lot and it's taken a long time to do things. So I want to get some things done in this video, but I feel like it's just going to be a really boring video if I don't time lapse it. Next step is these straps, and then we'll get the hoses. I think the straps are these screws. I'm really worried about breaking those off, so I'm gonna wire brush the bottom of them, and then I'm gonna heat up the welded nut on the bottom and then try to remove them. Hopefully that'll work. All right, I got this outer one all heated up, so let's see if it'll come out. Well, it's a 10. Let's see if it'll come out now. No, it broke off. That's a bummer. I had a feeling that one was going to, because honestly, it doesn't look the quality of the other ones. But at least we got that strap off. Strap's good at least. So now, let's break the other one off. I'm gonna still try to heat it up and stuff just to, you know, make an attempt. I actually got that one most of the way out and it eventually did snap off, but at least there's something to grab a hold of. And it's probably close to being out now, so I worked it back and forth a little bit and that probably helped. Anyway, this should be loose now. Okay, so let's get the rest of these hoses off and we'll go from there. Alright, so I decided just to take this filler neck off because I figured trying to get this hose off is going to be very difficult and I'd probably break it, so. Should be loose. Everything else is loose. Everything's off. Wires are off. Should be able to lift it up, move it out of here. See how that works. Nope, nope. We got this. That looks like a fuel return or something, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe that's the fuel. Well, I don't know what that is. You gotta get that off though. Hopefully a 17. Yep. That came right off. Alright. Now maybe we're ready. There we go. Ugh. How rusty is it? Well, I've definitely seen worse, and by that I mean the other one. We got some holes here. some holes there, some rust, but this is honestly part of the section I was planning on replacing anyway, so it really doesn't matter. There is some back along here, which isn't great, but yeah, at least it's just flat metal, so a little easier to replace. Honestly, this doesn't look terrible. I was thinking it might be worse. The real bad part is this gas tank. You can see right here. Maybe you can't. Yeah, you can see right there. A huge hole in the bottom of it. So yeah, not good. Really not good, because these tanks are very expensive and I did not want to have to replace it. Let's look at this one and see if it's any good. So you can actually see the bottom of the tank here. This is actually the sheet metal under it, but this tank is actually really solid. Even where the other one's rusted out, I honestly think this tank had been replaced at some point or something, and it kind of seems like it has like an undercoating on it. So yeah, I think we need to take this one out, because that might just save me like $400. I don't know what they are, but I assume they're very expensive, and I don't even know if I can get them. So let's get this out of here and see what it looks like. Alright, we got the other one off here, and unfortunately it has a hole. So that's not great, and that's a big bummer, because now I'm going to have to buy a gas tank, and I really don't think they're cheap. So I was really hoping we'd get one that's good, but I know it's pretty common that these fail, but you'd think they'd be more readily available. I really don't think they're that good, but anyway, you can see the nice frame that we have here. There's nothing left of this thing. It's so bad. But anyway, I'm gonna go do a little research on a fuel tank. We're obviously not gonna be able to get that fixed today. I was hoping to get the whole fuel system all nice and dandy, but yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. So I'm gonna go research a fuel tank and see how much they cost. I really want to use the stock one. I know some people were saying that you can put like a plastic tank in the back, but I really like the stock one. I know it's probably gonna cost a lot more, but anyway, I'm gonna go look real quick. I'll be back. Well, I ended up ordering a new tank. It's a replica tank. It's from coolcruisers.com. It'll be the same exact tank basically, but it's one that they make, and it's galvanized steel as well, so hopefully it won't rust out. Won't rust out in my lifetime because I'll take care of it, but yeah, so we got these two junk ones now. So I'm gonna take off the fuel necks and everything, get whatever parts are good off of these, and then chuck these outside. Alright, so the first electrical thing we're going to look at is this light switch. It's very sporadic in how it works, so you kind of have to jiggle it to make it work. So we're going to take it out, and hopefully we can take it apart. I'm not 100% sure how this one works, but I know some of the older ones I was able to take apart and clean up. So we're going to take this off. I think there's a little set screw on this knob to take it off, and then you just spin this out and then it pops out the back, unplug it, take it out. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, we got the switch off. Came off. There were two connections, just one there, and then this bottom one was just a light bulb. You push it in and turn it and it pops out. So pretty easy. So the part that's difficult to do with these is it looks like we can take it apart. There's these little metal tabs right here that you have to bend up right there, and then this plastic shield should slide off. And then I guess let's do that first and I'll show you how that goes. So I don't think these switches are readily available, and if they are, I'm sure they're not cheap. So this one does work, just not right, and I really don't want to have to replace it, so let's try to be careful. So first we need to try to get under here and just Slowly tilt that up. Don't go more than we need to. You see we got that one bent up decent. Let's do that with the other side. Like that. And then hopefully this will slide off. Like that. And that's that. Looks like this back plate comes off too. Not sure if that comes out or not. Nope. So I think what we want to do next is, you can see here there's 4 little metal tabs on this top part. There. So we need to bend those back, and then we should be able to take the actual switch mechanism part apart. And you can see how it's already corroded up on top here. The inside I bet's going to be worse. So let's get this. I feel like this one might be a little more difficult to do. I just really don't want to break those off because that wouldn't be good. Just bend them just enough so we don't have to. We just don't want to do more than we don't need to, you know. Okay, it feels like it's got spring tension. It definitely does, so hopefully this isn't impossible to put back together, but we will see, and I really don't want something to spring out at me. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so you can see the contacts there. This is the bottom side. Sorry, I'm not very good at showing this, but take this off. That's the bottom side. And then these are the little contacts, and this is what has a spring under it. So when you pull the handle out, this whole thing slides. And those contacts slide and make contact with the correct terminals, and that's what sends all your light signals. So yeah, this is what we have to clean up. Basically, these contacts here and these contacts here. We can take each one of these little things off and just shine them up, and then I will put dielectric grease all inside here so it's smooth actuation, and that will also keep it from corroding as well. And dielectric grease, if you don't know, doesn't conduct electricity. So let's get this all cleaned up and I'll show you what it looks like after. Alright, well, I got this down to its bare components now, and I cleaned up every little thing that I could find. So there's some wear things on here, like you could see in here that this slides in here. So I need to lubricate the bottom of that with some dielectric grease to help it slide smoother. There are these little balls in the bottom that click into the certain positions here. So I'll make sure those are all cleaned up. I got the contacts all clean. They're all shiny. On the bottom here, those are all very shiny now. So the thing you gotta be most careful of is this plastic. It's very old, and you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but there's some like stress cracks in it right here. This is the most brittle piece of the whole thing, so you gotta be very, very careful of that. But everything looks very nice now. Everything's all cleaned up and polished, so I'm gonna put it all back together and hopefully it'll work better. Alright, and that's it. All back together. Like brand new. So yeah, everything went really nice. I don't know if it feels better, but hopefully the contacts will be better. So let's get it back in there, see if anything has changed. Alright, so I got the light switch back in here. If I pull them all the way out, you can see there's a light on the dash there. And then this marker light works, it's just a bad ground issue, but if I push it so it grounds, you can see it turns on. The one on the other side, the one on the other side is working. Didn't have to do anything with that one. And as you can see, this one I just temporarily hooked up. I hooked a ground to the frame so it can get ground, but that one works. The headlights work just fine. The marker over here I didn't actually check yet because I only had one alligator clip to ground the thing, so I can move that over here and check it. But all the lights are working. I didn't try turn signal. Which I guess the turn signal wouldn't work because I don't have taillights hooked up, so probably not going to happen. The high beams are not working. I think the headlights just turn off. Yep. So high beams are not working. Isn't the end of the world, but it'd be nice to get that to work, which that might be somewhere in the steering column here too. Which I can also see the high beam light isn't turning on the dash either. There'd be a blue little light right here in the middle. So that's not working, but all the marker lights are working to my knowledge. I guess let's check the other one real quick and see if it's working. Alright, so you can see this one's working as well. So all of our running lights are working. We really just have the tail lights that we need to fix, but I don't have those lights yet. Still waiting on those to come, but I think I might just test the wiring to see if we're getting power back there, because it's kind of a tangled mess right now. So let's look at that. Alright, so I was looking at the lights back here. It looks like all of the original wiring is here. This is just a ground. That is not original, because originally I'm pretty sure the taillights ground just to the frame right here. And this is also bent, so I'm going to need to bend that back. But anyway, the original connectors are right here. So I can't test the brake lights because I don't know if the switch is working, but I have the running lights turned on right now. So if I touch this into here, you can see, well, maybe you can't. You can see that light comes on. So the tail lights or the running lights are working for sure. So it's hard for me to test the brake lights, but on this side the running lights are working. So on this side it's exactly the same. We have the original connectors here, and then if we plug this onto this ground that is not factory, and we touch, let me hide the light here, and we touch this on here, we get running light. So all the wiring looks to be in good shape back here. We'll have to test the brake light. I bet you the switch probably isn't working. I tried it a little bit, but the brake pedal also doesn't move very far, so I don't know if it's even engaging the brake switch. But for the most part, all the lights are working as they should, at least the factory ones, which is what I'm concerned about. There's still some like fog lights up here that are ugly, so those will be taken off. But yeah, electrical wise, doing good. The headlight switch is definitely working perfectly now, so everything's working there. I need to replace some bulbs in the display here. The turn signals are not working, so I kind of have a feeling that that has something to do with probably the flasher relay. So yeah, not a big deal there. I don't know if any of the lights are working on these, like the brake light here. I don't know. This switch is for the fog lights, but I disconnected it already, so it doesn't do anything. That'll be taken out. Hopefully in the next video about this, we'll have some new parts and we'll be able to start putting some new parts on here. This was kind of a tear down and find all the stuff that I want to keep and diagnose a couple things, I guess. It was kind of a video that was all over the place, but hopefully you enjoyed it. So if you're someone that really likes the time-lapse videos where you see a lot of stuff done at once and it's kind of quicker, let me know. If you would rather me show a bolt-by-bolt like instructional video of every single thing I take off and put back on and rambling the whole time, let me know too. I personally like the time-lapse stuff. That's why I do it a lot more. And yeah, who wants to listen to me for that much time of just talking through things and some silence, because it's not that fun. So, well, it is fun, but not that enjoyable to watch. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. But thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.